Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. I'm back from holidays, and this is where I spent almost all my time. This is Lake Superior. It's in northern Ontario, and it is the second largest lake in the world. It is absolutely lovely. The only lake bigger is Lake Baikal in Russia, and as you can see, this is unspoiled. It's a truly beautiful spot. There's no mats of algae, there's no pollution in the water. It is perfectly clear and, well, very cold to swim in, but still really, really lovely. Now, I got in really late on Tuesday, 14-hour drive from Ottawa to where this spot is, and that's the reason why you had that ASMR video on Wednesday. I did intentionally record that because the waves are just really, really nice. I mean, I did spend a lot of time sitting on the beach here and just listening to the sounds of the world, and it was really quite pleasant. So I thought I'd share that with you, and I was just too tired on Wednesday to do anything else for that matter. I was intending to have this video, which I promise is not just going to be me showing you the sights around Lake Superior. I am going to get to the reasons and what to look for when you want to collect hardscape. Now, as it turned out, this spot was absolutely amazing for rocks. Obviously, this one here is not good for an aquarium because it's, way too big. If I had driven up there in a large dump truck, or even a tractor trailer for that matter, and I could have filled it from one end to the other with beautiful rocks, and I wouldn't have even make a small dent in the amount that's available here. I obviously didn't bring that much back, and actually now that I'm back, I wish I had brought more. But like I said, I don't really want to despoil the place by taking too much away. But I did take enough to do some nice displays, and I actually got some stuff that I'm going to use for the desktop tank I built recently, and that's the reason why I have held off on putting that together. I do really want to put some really nice looking rock in there, and I think I found it for sure. Now, as far as driftwood goes, that was the only thing that was disappointing. When I first looked at pictures from the area, they showed lots of driftwood on the beach, and there is. But all the small pieces, anything that you could break off or chop off, has been removed because people like to have, beach bonfires, and that's what's happened. Pretty much all that was left were telephone pole sized pieces of driftwood, which, they look nice, but there's literally no way that you can take them and put them in any kind of aquarium. They're just way too massive. So, that all said, I'm pretty much done the visual tour here of the area around Lake Superior. Let's get on to the collecting. I'll show you what I did, and then I'll give you some recommendations if you want to do this sort of thing, which I highly recommend, by the way. I mean, not just because you'll save a bunch of money. I mean, I've seen the prices of rockwork in the aquarium stores, and it is really silly. But as you see, I'm walking along here. Something will catch my eye, and I'll pick it up, and then I'll go down to the shore by the time I have a handful, and I'll just rinse them off to see what they look like. If you are doing this for your own benefits, you'll see stuff that you like, the ones that appeal to you, and then you'll have something special in your aquarium, which is really kind of hard to replace, really. So what I did is, like I said, I collected a bunch, and then I would rinse them off because it's night and day when they're dry versus when they're wet. And then I would put them in a satchel I carried, and then I would just keep on going. I mean, I walked this beach so many times, and you can see, I mean, the rocks are gorgeous. I mean, a bunch of the pebbles around these are actually really nice too. And actually, when I got back, I had wished I had taken them more back, but I guess there's only so much you can take, really, and I just didn't want to take too much. This is one of the first pieces of driftwood I saw that wasn't a telephone pole, and I just did this because it looked okay, but it was the size. There's just no way I'm going to haul this back. It was just stupid big. So I passed it by. I did find a few pieces that I'm going to show you in the end of this video, but for the most part, it's just stuff that it was just not useful. I am planning a trip to some places I saw on the drive, closer obviously. Then I'm going to collect some other driftwood, and I'll show you that at that time. So, what not to put in an aquarium? Rocks that you should avoid. I mean, there's lots of videos on this, and actually I don't really agree with most of it. Unless you are collecting and putting rocks in an aquarium with very specialized fish with very specialized needs, for the most part, you're fine. I mean, there are obviously dolomites and calcium-based rocks that will harden your water and raise the pH. Those sorts of things you should reserve for, African cichlids and that sort of stuff. I mean, I understand that. That's perfectly fine. But as far as heavy metals, like irons and whatnot, it's not really going to affect your aquarium that much if you're doing proper maintenance. I have collected rocks, in the tons for over 30 years now for the business, and I have never used a pet shop source for them because it is not possible for me to set up, a 10-foot aquarium filled with rocks from a pet store. It would just make the price of doing the job ridiculously high. So that's my opinion on it, and I have yet to run into any issues whatsoever. So take that as you will. Oh, this rock here I absolutely love. If you saw what it looked like dry, I mean, to me this is probably the best piece I picked up. I really, really like this piece of. It's going to be one that I'm most likely going to end up putting in that nano desktop I'm putting together. And of course, the reason why I haven't put it up yet is because I want to use some of these rocks in that, and I was waiting for the trip to do that. So that should be coming up hopefully relatively soon. And as you can see, these rocks are just absolutely stunning. And if you really want to drive up to the northern end of Lake Superior, go to Pebble Beach in Marathon. It is where I got all these, and as you can see, they're just beautiful. So obviously you're not going to do that. If you have a beach near you with some rocks, most sedimentary rocks, most like shales, sandstones, slate, that sort of stuff, you're perfectly fine putting in pretty much any aquarium. Now, I did collect some of those style because I didn't want just colorful things. I wanted stuff that had some character as well. And sometimes just a flat piece of rock is actually kind of nice to have because, for fish to spawn on, that sort of thing. So some of that's going to be coming up as well. And I wouldn't really worry about it affecting your chemistry, your tank, too much. I mean, some of them will, but mostly it's just hardness that you're. I mean, here's one of the less fancy rocks. I did pick up a bunch of those as well. You're not going to end up causing any kind of real issues. You'll end up with slightly harder water maybe. You may end up with a slight change in pH, but you're not going to poison your fish with toxins from metals and that sort of stuff if you're doing any kind of reasonable maintenance. Now, one of the things you should be careful of is bacterial or organisms that are on the rocks, especially if you're collecting it from a beach. In this particular case, it's fine because, like I said, it's way up north, and there's really, the water is clearer than anything that's going to be around where I am. If you are going from a place where you're less sure of what is in the water, just boil them, and you'll be fine then. And if you really want to be careful about the sorts of things like changing pH, put a little bit of vinegar on it, and if it fizzes, you are dealing with something that's going to, raise your pH because it's going to be some sort of carbonate-based rock. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about it at all. So this is what it all looked like before I put it in and wetted it down. This is my collection of what I brought back. I should have brought back more, but like I said, I don't really want to change the character of the beach too much. This is definitely enough. So I'm going to show you at the end here a little bit of driftwood I brought back, which is really disappointing, but that is pretty much all that I had. These two pieces were kind of nice, and that's it. And one big piece I'm going to show you then as well. So I'm going to be back and be doing some more regular videos. If you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe, and always leave comments. I think I'm caught up now in my comments. But I have a bunch of videos to watch. I'll be getting to those as soon as I get a free moment. And this big piece, hopefully I have a client that wants it. I'm going to have to do some serious treating for it to get it ready for aquariums, and I will go into that sort of detail when I get to collecting some more driftwood. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.